your forecast first, sponsored by Natax Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
On this Friday evening, we do have cloudy skies and temperatures that have been chilly all day today. The good news is, even though it's cold tonight, that will make for a nice sunny start to our Saturday, as temperatures will then warm up pretty quickly, closer to average than where we've been the past few days. 37 degrees in Champaign, as well as in Watseka, Danville, Bloomington, 39 in Mattoon, as well as in Decatur, and also in Springfield as well, which is where we have our Flooring America weather camera up on our roofing dog eye. And it's still pretty cloudy. However, we do expect clearing to occur later on this evening, as temperatures will fall back into the upper 20s and low 30s. Winds still out of the northwest, unfortunately. That cold direction up to around 20 miles per hour. So here's your forecast planner. We do have clearing skies, cold temperatures tonight, but temperatures are warmer for the weekend, and it stays warmer going into next week. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
This was not a decision that I made lightly.
And it's one parents, students, and teachers have been waiting for, what the governor decided about the rest of the school year. Plus, expanded testing for COVID-19 has started, where you can drive up, roll down the window, and get it done. And the FBI raided a home, how agents might have stopped a shooting at a school, mosque, or synagogue.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
I am suspending in-person learning in schools for the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year.
But that doesn't mean learning is canceled for kids in Illinois. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. Remote e-learning is how some 2 million students will finish the school year. As K-12 students won't return to the classroom, Governor Pritzker made the decision, he said, because it's what the science demanded.
Will students return to school totally caught up? We're not expecting them to.
The state superintendent says some students will be behind because there's not a level playing field when kids are learning from home. But
the Illinois State Board of Education will be releasing transition guidance to help schools address learning loss and students' social emotional needs when they return to the classrooms, whenever that is safe to do so.
And that's not all.
We will use the Illinois State Board of Education's Federal CARES Act dollars to increase access to technology and devices in our least resourced districts. And we encourage school districts to use their CARES Act funding allocations for this purpose.
Governor Pritzker says in these final weeks, when it comes to grading, students should be treated with understanding.
Teachers are not using it as a compliance tool to give them a bad grade because they don't have an internet connection.
The governor has also amended graduation requirements for seniors.
Be assured, Illinois students are in good hands. Our teachers and our administrators are doing what they do best. They're stepping up to ensure that every child in this state receives the education that they deserve. And the governor is not ruling out graduation ceremonies at some point. And could that occur in August or September? No, of course. I mean, I feel for these students.
After the governor announced schools would remain closed, Champaign schools reminded parents food distribution and delivery would continue. E-learning would continue as well, and said the district is continuing to work with families to provide internet access after delivering nearly 1,900 Chromebooks to students. Decatur schools also reassured parents e-learning would continue and said it would soon have answers to the many questions that have been raised by today's announcement. We have an update now on a COVID-19 outbreak at a facility in Decatur. A 7th person has died at Fairhaven Senior Living. The woman was in her 80s. More than 2/3 of the county's confirmed cases are connected to Fairhavens. Illinois is ready to increase the number of tests administered throughout the state. It's starting with some of the state's most vulnerable populations. Decatur is one of the cities that could soon see an increase in the number of tests. WCIA 3's Cole Hankey spoke with the facility that will be responsible for administering these tests.
Governor Pritzker announced that the state is ready to further expand its testing capabilities, and in the process, they will be expanding the criteria people need to meet in order to get a test.
We're utilizing our incredible statewide network of federally qualified health centers to launch new testing locations in communities across Illinois. These new sites will feed specimens to our network of expanded laboratory capacity.
One of those federally qualified health centers is in Decatur. City officials and state representatives have been calling for more testing in the city as the death count associated with Fairhaven Senior Living rises.
FQHCs throughout the state serve underserved underserved populations. And one thing that we've seen across our nation is a disproportionate impact of this virus on low-income and African-American communities.
Crossing Healthcare is expecting to expand its testing criteria within the week. Those expansions will allow the facility to test all essential workers and those who didn't fit other requirements, like direct contact with someone who tested positive.
And so it allows us to test people who are symptomatic, who might be essential workers, not just healthcare workers, people who are displaying symptoms, who have chronic diseases or multiple chronic diseases, or who are over age 60. And so it does expand out the criteria of people that we can test.
Reporting in Decatur, Cole Hankey, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
There are 46 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Macon County, while the majority of cases are associated with Fairhaven Senior Living. One case has now been confirmed at Villa Clara Nursing Home in Decatur. Walgreens is expanding drive-through operations to 15 new locations in 7 states. That includes a new location in central Illinois. A new drive-up testing site is open in Springfield. Store pharmacists supervise a patient as they self-administer the nasal swab. Patients can expect their results back within 1 or 2 days. The testing is free of charge, but is being prioritized for people over 65, first responders, and healthcare workers who are showing symptoms, and people with underlying conditions. There have been 62 more deaths in the state due to coronavirus. That brings the total to more than 1,100 in Illinois. There were over 1,800 new cases reported in the past 24 hours, eclipsing 27,000 total cases in 92 of Illinois' 102 counties. To keep up to date with the latest on COVID-19 in the state and in your community, you can download the WCIA 3 News app. We have new information tonight on why the FBI was investigating a home in Assumption this week. A concerning discussion in an online chat room led federal agents to arrest a man for illegally having guns. We showed you on Wednesday this home on Sarah Street was being searched. 50-year-old Randall Burris was arrested for possession of a gun by a felon. The FBI was tipped off about a conversation happening in an online chat room. Federal prosecutors say the users appeared to be planning an attack at a school, a mosque, or a synagogue. Burris was identified as one of the users. A search warrant of his home revealed several guns and boxes of ammunition. If convicted, he faces up to 10 years in prison. Stopping gun violence has been a major priority for the city of Champaign, but when people fire guns during a pandemic, it can be difficult to respond in the same way. WCIA 3's Andy Olson looked at how police and the city are reacting.
2 people were shot on Thursday afternoon in Champaign. The victims, a 23-year-old and a 17-year-old, are still recovering. Police say they aren't sure yet if the shootings are related. Champaign Mayor Deb Finan says, like after every shooting, she's concerned for the community.
The people responsible need to be brought to justice. We cannot let gun violence terrorize our community. It's just not acceptable.
It's not just happening in Champaign. Last week, a shooting in Urbana left a 15-year-old dead. With the shootings on Thursday, police in Champaign don't think the pandemic is the reason for the violence. They say, quote, "We're unable to suggest any correlation between the governor's stay-at-home order and gun violence. There's too little sample size and no information to suggest that." Even with social distancing rules in place, police say they're still investigating shootings as thoroughly as before. But city leaders say it's harder to do some of their violence prevention activities. The Community Coalition and a support team for families after violent crimes have been doing some of their work over video chat.
We will continue to get more creative in making sure that those events happen. It's harder to do one-on-one reach out, but it continues to be a primary focus of the city and our community relations department.
In Champaign, Andy Olson, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Champaign police say they responded to 100 confirmed incidents of gunfire in the city last year. This year, that number is up to 33 so far. Classes, of course, have been canceled for the rest of the year. So what about the remaining high school championships? Also tonight.
It's fun to see people wearing things you've made.
It started as something for the neighbors and spread from there. How one woman is keeping others safe, one stitch at a time.
It was a cold day today with the rain showers and snow showers that we had early this morning, kind of wrapped up by about lunchtime, but it was cold. We only had highs today in the middle 40s, about 20 degrees cooler than average. Coming up, though, we are talking about a cold night tonight, but it's warmer for the weekend, and there will be only a few chances for showers and storms, most of which come in later on in the week. We'll talk about that next.